everyone, and welcome to the Utopia of Nerd News. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Adam.
And welcome back. Okay, so it's going to get a little redundant, but welcome to the show. And I'm Sarah.
And I'm Adam.
And do you feel like you're in the Twilight Zone? Hi, and welcome to our show. And, okay, now we're going to get started because I feel like I just have to mess with the intro every once in a while. Otherwise, it's going to get boring.
Right.
Like, hi guys, we have the best news ever, which, you know, I could be completely lying to you, but
we could.
We do have some pretty cool news that we are going to get started with right now after I cough. Okay.
Alright. So, of course, as you probably know, at least if you've been watching or if you like video games at all, BlizzCon was going on.
Was it?
Yes.
What?
And our little news thing we had last week about the potential Warlords of Draenor being the name for the new WoW expansion is officially confirmed. So we know a few details, not everything obviously so far, but it will feature time travel, so going back in time.
So we're doing a Doctor Who thing?
No.
Or that one show with the DeLorean in it.
Back to the Future?
Yes.
Okay. Your nerd card just got points taken away.
Hey, I remember the car name.
Yeah, but that was an actual car.
I know it is. It's a DeLorean.
Anyway, it will feature 7 new zones, 7 new dungeons, as well as the return of my old vanilla WoW favorite dungeon ever. I don't have a reason for it, but I just always love doing it. Upper Blackrock Spire. They're getting it a heroic version. So they're bringing that one back, which, that sounds kind of fun. It's like they're...
I'm sorry.
It's like they're calling me back to the game, but I won't do it. I won't do it.
No, because it's awful. Sorry. No, sorry. We are WoW fans. Well, we used to be. I used to be. I still am. But I don't think I can go back.
Okay. As well as 2 new raids and the new level 100 level cap. But the cool new feature that they have, at least the one I think is pretty interesting, is finally, after several expansions of people wanting this, they have some type of player housing being introduced into World of Warcraft. They are called garrisons. Now, they're not going to be just like a house that you can throw crap in. It's actually like your own village, basically. You can get different buildings, like a blacksmith or a town hall or whatever. You can get different followers up to 10, where they level up on their own. They can actually acquire like rare and like uncommon loot and stuff, and they'll actually give it to you as they level. Or you can set them to like tradecraft skills, like mining or herbalism or something, and they'll go gather those ingredients for you. And every player will get their own garrison. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting. Even the buildings themselves can actually level up. Say you can get to like a level 3 town hall or whatever, as well as having different decorative things. Like if you beat a rare enemy, like maybe they'll send you like, say for instance, there's a giant Azure Drake, right? And I don't know whatever his name is, and you kill him, so they could send you a giant like they mounted his head, and you can place it. And you can actually move all the buildings around wherever you want in kind of a, as they described, an RTS type setting, so you can design the houses and everything like you want. So, I don't know, I think it sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, it does. It sounds really cool, but I'm not going back. I'll just play Skyrim and make my own house and have a kid that their dress defaults bad.
I gave my kid a magical dagger.
And you gave her a new dress, and it disappeared.
It did, so she was the naked kid running around with a magical dagger.
Anyway. But anyways.
And moving on to more BlizzCon news, a game that was announced, and we've known about since I believe like 2009, but there's really hasn't ever been anything on it. They finally kind of came out in force with it, which is Blizzard's MOBA they've been working on, which is called Heroes of the Storm. For those who don't know what MOBAs are, they're like League of Legends or Dota or something like that. And basically, this is like an all-star game. They're not creating new characters, they're bringing characters from the Warcraft universe, from the StarCraft universe, and from the Diablo universe, so you can have them all in a giant melee. Yeah, it's like they even kind of mentioned before it almost being like they want it to be like a PC version of like a melee Super Smash Brothers game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, that's like a melee, like not melee, but like a Super Smash Bros. Game, but it's like MMO style.
Well, MOBA, but
MOBA.
I don't know. It's pretty interesting. They're aiming to have games like about 20 minutes long a piece, so they have some length to them, but they don't run too long. As well as having a new feature for MOBAs, really. Mounts. Okay, so instead of they're taking out the normal boots and speed boosts that they use, and you can get different mounts. Like they showed some weird combinations, like Sarah Kerrigan riding like a Warcraft wolf type, or warg kind of thing, and some different mixtures so you can mix and match things. I don't know a whole lot about that in depth, obviously, but I did write down the 16 playable characters that we know of right now. There's obviously going to be a lot more later on because MOBAs have tons of characters. And keep in mind, each of these will have alternate costumes as well. Do you have anything to say?
I'm just going to count for you.
Okay. First one, we're going to start with the Warcraft characters that are announced. Falstad, Illidan Stormrage, Gazlo, Uther, Malfurion, Arthas, aka the Lich King, and the one I'm most looking forward to playing, Stitches. He's a giant abomination.
Is he have stitches?
His stomach's ripped open.
Oh.
It's almost like a joke character.
See, I think of Stitches, and I think of Nightmare Before Christmas, Sally, because she has stitches. Anyways.
Makes sense.
But, going on.
Obviously, a lot more room for characters. I mean, there's like 20 Warcraft books and a bunch of games, etc. But moving on to StarCraft, they have Sarah Kerrigan, a.k.a. the Queen of Blades. They have Nova, Jim Raynor, and Tassadar. So that's it for the StarCraft right now. Obviously, a lot more can be in there. I wouldn't be surprised to see some type of Zergling or something. Anyway, and moving on to Diablo, they have Tyrell, Diablo, Sonya, Vala, which is the kind of default Demon Hunter character in Diablo 3, and Nazba, which is the default Witch Doctor in Diablo 3. So I'd imagine we're going to see more of the default characters be introduced there. And we'll probably see a lot more with the StarCraft and Diablo sides get more characters, because they'll probably try and have a balance. But yeah, those are the characters as of right now. So you can play the Lich King versus Jim Raynor or something like that. Personally, I would love to see Hogger, but I don't know if he'll be there to start, but I want to see Hogger in there just because I think that would be hysterical. Anything for you?
Hogger? Is that from World of Warcraft?
Yeah. Is
that the first boss?
Yeah.
Or
the Kobold?
Yep. I remember him. I remember him well. In my WoW days.
Moving on past BlizzCon, 38 Studios, which is the studio that has like the properties like Rise of Nations, Catan, the video game, and what's their big one? Reckoning, Kingdoms of Amalur.
Oh yeah.
And they were up for sale, if you remember, this month.
Oh yeah.
Well, they pushed it back to next month due to unexpected amounts of interest. We don't know who from, but that's something to keep in note. So I guess if you're a big Kingdoms of Amalur fan, it's not dead yet.
Square Enix. Just kidding. Don't take that seriously. I don't know.
They might. They love publishing. That's where they make most of their money right now.
Really? Because that was just a
They might. I wouldn't be that surprised because, like I said, they make most of their money off publishing. Tomb Raider,
true.
Hitman, Deus Ex, etc. Sleeping Dogs. There we go. That's a good game. Anyway, so Kingdoms of Amalur might not be dead after all.
Hey, there you go.
Who knows?
There might be a number 2.
Yeah. Well, they do have an MMO that they were starting to work on.
Right.
So that work would all be part of the deal as well. So they might try the MMO. They might just try a sequel. I prefer a sequel because MMOs are extremely expensive and have a high bust rate.
Yeah, like KOTOR. That should have just been. But anyways, we rant video it's coming to a town near you.
And lastly, something that might be nothing, but might be something massive towards all gaming. Nokia CEO Stefan Ellup, I hope that's how it's pronounced, who is the front runner to become the new Microsoft CEO right now, has basically said that he's willing to sell off the entire Xbox division. Because right now Microsoft has too many things going on, and the Xbox only rakes in about 3% of their yearly income.
Really?
Yeah, so they're willing to sell it. There's been some rumors going around that, because obviously this would have to be a big company to buy it, that Apple is looking to get into the gaming industry.
Oh, so I was gonna say that would be so funny if Sony was just like, Gotcha.
They could. Nintendo could do it. Because Nintendo's been having problems with their console stuff. They could easily just blend that in and say...
They got the money, I'm sure, to buy Microsoft. Well,
Nintendo?
not buy Microsoft, but...
Yeah, Nintendo would have the money for it.
Yeah.
Mario? But Nintendo has
kids.
been having problems with their console versions, so they could easily just say, like, alright, the Xbox can be our console, and they can start blending those together over time, and then they can make their own 3DS handheld games, which is their specialty. That's a possibility, but Apple is the leading rumor right now.
I think it'd be really cool to have, like, an Apple Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That would also expect the iBox to come out as the next generation.
I'm gonna go live in my iBox.
Yeah, so that's potentially something massive down the road.
That's cool. I mean,
yeah, he basically flat out said, "Yeah,
for
we want to sell it."
But well, I mean, I don't know.
I guess it really doesn't because
that
they would
really
be making all the
surprises
money.
me. Like, I feel like I'm surprised. I feel like they would make a ton of money off of the Xbox.
It's like $300-something million a year, but it's only 3% of their thing. And they said, like I said earlier, they have too much going on and they want to focus on their higher profit margin groups, so they would be fine with cutting that if they were given an offer.
Wow. It wouldn't be the Microsoft-Sony war anymore. It'd be Apple and Sony.
Or if Sony bought it, Sony's king of the world.
Yep.
I still think Google might do it because they like getting their hands on everything.
Oh, man, yeah. Oh, man, Google versus Sony. Oh, Google wins. Google. No, just kidding. But, wow, that's crazy.
There's a lot of things to think about there.
Yeah, it is.
So,
I still like the iBox, though. Because the G-Box just doesn't do it.
Alright, so moving on to movie news. We're going to start with Terminator 5. For the three main characters, we have a lot of, not just casting rumors, but these are basically people who are actively reading lines for the roles.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's coming back.
He's confirmed. But that's just as a cameo, basically.
Okay, good.
No, for Sarah Connor, Emilia Clarke, Margot Robbie, and Brie Larson. So... Okay.
I know Emilia Clarke.
She'd
Brie
be my
Larson
pick.
sounds familiar, but it'd be weird. Cool.
For Kyle Reese, Garrett Hedlund, who's somebody you'd probably recognize if you saw him. Like he was on like Jumper, I can think of off the top of my head.
Never seen that movie.
Okay, well he's been in some roles, so you might recognize him.
I might.
And they just said there's two others, but we don't want to say who they are. I don't know. So he and two mystery people are reading lines. So I'd imagine he's the front runner if they said. And the last one, because Alan Taylor, the director of Thor: The Dark World, is directing Terminator 5, right? So he actually came out and said who he wants to be the kind of main character, John Connor. He wants Tom Hardy. Now, the interesting thing here is, obviously, time travel is part of this movie because it's always been part of the Terminators. Mm-hmm. But because his character is the child of the other two, so...
Unless he, like...
Well, it's kind of almost a plot spoiler, then.
Yeah, because...
he's older than they are.
Yeah, he's
like
older, and he, like, goes back to Sarah Connor and, like... You're a child, I'm your child, and... You birthed me, and there's
Daenerys
a war.
Targaryen birthed Bane.
There's a war going on, and you gotta be careful, blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't... Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be interesting. Something to keep an eye on, though. He actively said he wanted Tom Hardy for that role, though, and that's the only person he mentioned.
I'm not excited.
So,
but
Tom Hardy's going to be asking for the money, then, because they basically said he's the only person he wants for the main character. Anyway, moving on to the DC movie universe. This week, it came out that basically announced that Nightwing will be part of the Batman-Superman movie.
Figured. Which
kind of makes sense. It's not too big of a surprise. They are doing an older Batman. They get to skip the whole Robin phase of his career, and he gets to go and be his own hero. But they also came out a few days later with the leading actor to potentially play it, which is HBO's Girls star, Adam Driver. So, okay. He didn't look like a really good one to me, but, you know, whatever. And kind of staying with the same movie in the same universe, they haven't said Wonder Woman's going to be part of the movie, but they have 3 girls who are all pretty tall, athletic, beautiful, dark-haired ladies, all actively trying to get part of the movie as an unknown character. So it's basically leading to a lot of people thinking they are going to have something with Wonder Woman in this. And the 3 actresses, I might butcher these names because they're all very foreign. The first one is Elodie Yung, Gal Gadot, and Olga Kurylenko, or Kurylenko? So, Kurylenko. So, all 3 of those actresses are going for an unknown role that they all eerily match Wonder Woman on. So,
and then maybe we'll get a Wonder Woman movie.
Finally.
And then they'll F it up. The end. Just kidding. No, I don't know. I really hope they get to doing a Wonder Woman movie, but DC's not making the best decisions sometimes. Most of the time. Let's say.
Get on Flash. That's all I'm saying.
He's the 2 Flashes? The 3 Flashes? Which one?
There's 2. There's going to be the Arrow one, but they're going to have their own, and that's the one they need to start working on. Because they've already said they want to do that movie, and he's the character that will be the, quote, funny character for the group, so they kind of need some establishing for his character.
I feel like they should just have one Flash.
Well, part of the problem with that is the Arrow franchise basically took most of the DC villains. Ra's al Ghul, they have Black Canary, they have Deadpool, or not Deadpool, Deadshot. They have almost all of them in that already cast, so it kind of pigeonholes them. I mean, they even take Batman villains and throw them into the Arrow franchise, so...
Getting a little greedy, are you? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, they can't really connect those, I don't think, without kind of messing themselves up at this point. But anyway, moving on to Star Wars, Episode 7 finally has its official release date, and it is no longer on the summer 2015 list of millions of massive budget movies, in a fantastic, at least what I think is fantastic move for for Disney, is they're separating it from the 2 big summer blockbusters they already have with Marvel's The Avengers Age of Ultron and Marvel's Ant-Man, which are both that summer. They're moving it to a Christmas movie on December 18th of that year, where as far to my knowledge, they don't really have anything, at least of the massive variety. So I think it's a really good move.
And do we know actors yet?
No. But they do have the actors. We just don't know them yet.
Okay. Because I know we
got done casting
were
and
talking
everything.
About how there's rumors, and we didn't like the rumors, and...
And they're doing everything they can to keep the plot and everything under.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't want to be spoiled.
No.
And lastly, moving back to BlizzCon for a bit, the WoW movie, another movie in that 2015 summer, has its first details revealed. First off is they had concept art for different locations, so some of the locations from the Warcraft universe getting kind of shown in some kind of light for the movie. They showed Stormwind, they showed Dalaran, they showed Draenor, which is the place they're going in their new expansion, and Ironforge. So expect all of those in the movie at some point. Also, they had said it's kind of the origin story for the first contact war between the humans and the orcs, which is also known as the first Warcraft game. So it kind of sets that up. So they're really predating WoW for those of you who have only played WoW. Also, they also said that Lothar and Duratan from Warcraft 2 will be in the movie. So those are 2 well-known Warcraft characters announced for the movie. Because there's so many of them, they will not all be in it for sure.
So well-known.
Yeah, for those of you who know Warcraft.
Who know.
Anyway, so that's that for movies.
So we have some trailers that we need to talk about.
Yeah, the first one is Oldboy. Go.
I do believe, well, we've looked at this trailer. Well, the first trailer, because this is the second one. The first one, I was like, oh, this is an interesting concept. And now this one is...
Being that I know the story, because this is based off a manga, they've made it into a movie before this, the second movie being made, I think they show way too much of the actual movie, because they have, and I wish they almost had a better de-aging process for, Brolin, because he looks the same age from when he starts and the 20 years after. And that's kind of a problem I see with it, but I'm still pretty interested in it, even though they spoil a lot of it.
I think it has a really interesting concept. I mean, it's definitely different than what,
anything
movies are
really
out there now.
Right.
But, I don't know. I think it's because they showed too much. I'm just like...
But they didn't show the big thing, which is who the person who kidnapped him was and why he did it. So at least they're holding on to the biggest mystery in it.
Yes, very true. Very true. And then we had the trailer for Robocop.
Yes, we did. We had the second trailer for Robocop. If you went to see Thor this weekend, you've probably seen it. Yeah, that's about what I think about the trailer, too. It basically looks like a mind-numbing, CGI-driven action movie to me.
It just looks like, hey, what movie can we redo next? Oh, I know, Robocop. And we can make it full of action, and then we can get a lot of money, and it's just a cash-in.
Yeah. First Robocop was really good, the original, and they're about to take deuce all over its legacy, so...
Like that car in the trailer.
They showed the best part... Anyway,
moving on to the best TV news you're ever gonna hear.
Ever. Right. The great TV news. Disney's Marvel and Netflix have made a hugely ambitious deal. Hugely. I don't even know if that works properly, but...
Hugely. That's a word now.
With 4 characters, namely Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones.
Because you couldn't have Iron Fist without Luke Cage.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Well, they're best friends.
That is how it is.
And they're the heroes.
That's not how I just feel.
But anyway, each of them will receive at least, at the very minimum, 13 episode arcs, each individually. And then at the end of all those, they will have a mini-series with all them coming together Avengers style. I think that's really cool. Personally, I think they're going to start with Daredevil. 1, he's the most well-known character. And 2, I think they're going to do something because this isn't on, like, ABC, like Marvel's S.H.I.E.L.D. is. They can be a bit more the way they would want to try and create something, make it a bit grittier. Because
it's on Netflix.
Well, these characters are in a lot grittier situations, right? These are the guys in Harlem and places like that. I think they're going to have Daredevil older, not super young, so they're not going to be like, yeah, we have to find somebody who's like super good looking.
Just bring back Ben F.
No. And he'll be older, probably like upper 30s, low 40s. He's Batman. Leave it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Fortunately for you. Anyway, I think he'll be older. I think he's going to be the leader of the group. And I think they'll probably start with him. I think they're probably going to end with Luke Cage because he's probably the second most well-known. That would be my guess, at least. I think they'll throw the other two at some point in the middle. But for those who don't know who Jessica Jones is, because she's actually like by far the smallest of them. She fits with the others because they're all very physical characters, right? Luke Cage is super strong and he has invincible skin. Iron Fist he's a martial artist who has a magical fist because he punched a hole through a dragon.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then Daredevil, obviously.
He's the man without fear, and he beats people with a pipe or a cane or
blind.
Whatever, you know. Yeah, and he's also very intelligent, another reason why he would be the leader.
Yes.
Jessica Jones is a character who's kind of interesting. She's always been a small character in the Marvel universe. She was actually one of the high schoolers on the field trip with Peter Parker when he got bit by the spider, and she actually had a crush on him in school. That's just a fun side note. But
then he crushed her.
She also had a crush on the Human Torch later on in life.
That makes sense. Every girl did.
Right. But then she and her family got into an accident with chemicals, and it killed both her parents. And she got kind of superhuman powers where she became super strong. That's why she fits into this group very well. She also got like flight, but she never mastered flight. She went across like a couple different super hero nicknames throughout time, but she realized that she never really was a really good superhero, so she actually became a private detective who worked for a lot of superheroes and things. And she also became a writer for J. Jonah Jameson.
The Daily Bugle.
Right. She was the superhero correspondent. who eventually she left when he started slandering different superheroes and stuff. But, yeah, I think she's a pretty interesting character. Also, the last part that's pretty interesting about her is she eventually marries and has a kid with Luke Cage.
Aww,
so there's clearly going to be
so
some romance between those two.
That's why she fits again.
Right. I think this is a pretty good 3. The only thing is the Defenders, which is the group they are, was created by Doctor Strange, who's not going to be in it. And the founding members were like Silver Surfer and people like that who are very cosmic and powerful. So it's very, very different from the original comic book Defenders, being this group in like the Bronx and Hell's Kitchen and
maybe
Harlem.
They can make references, like a lot of references to help.
Yeah, well, I mean, they are going to have Doctor Strange in the movies.
Well, right.
They've even said they wouldn't be against having a movie version after the miniseries of this group. So, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities with this. They get to throw in a lot of heroes. So, I think it's pretty exciting. This is a huge gamble, too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is so different. It's really exciting, though. I'm definitely pumped for this. Just as a side note, the Hulk also joined the Defenders for a while. So he could also that wouldn't fit. That would be very weird. Giant green monster guy and then a bunch of people who look normal. Anyway, so yes, that is the massive TV/internet TV news. So now you get animated news.
Yay, anime! Alright, so we have some cool stuff going on in the anime world. So we've talked about this live action Ruroni Kenshin movies that are going on. Well, they are halfway done with the sequel. If you haven't heard about this news at all, they're doing 2 live action Ruroni Kenshins. They were covering the Kyoto arc, if you are familiar with that. And these movies are slated to open next summer, obviously, probably in Japan. Not quite sure if the United States is going to get them.
Torrent will.
Or North America. I should say North America. Yeah. Yeah. But, maybe someday.
Maybe.
So, just some kind of fun facts. The first Ruroni Kenshin movie is going to be called Ruroni Kenshin, The Great Kyoto Fire, and these are the English titles. Obviously, they do have Japanese titles, but I just don't feel like I would do them justice right now. And the second one is called Ruroni Kenshin, The End of a Legend. So, those are the 2 titles, and the first Ruroni Kenshin live-action film actually opened in theaters in Japan last August. So, that is a thing that's going on. Just a little update on the Ruroni Kenshin. Like I've said, we will keep updating about it because it's really cool. It's really cool news to know.
And if it does really well overseas, expect American Hollywood to rip it off and make an Americanized Ruroni Kenshin.
Like Dragon Ball. Oops, too soon?
It's always too soon for that.
Speaking of Dragon Ball Z...
Yeah.
Funimation is going to retry releasing Dragon Ball Z on Blu-ray.
How many re-releases can this show get?
No, it's not a re-release. It's like a retry of a release. Because they actually tried to release it a while back, like HD, like remastering it, and they couldn't quite figure out how to do it correctly so that it looked better and stuff. So they've actually figured it out. The Dragon Ball Z season sets are coming to Blu-ray DVD this winter, before the end of the year is what they said, so cross your fingers if you're a DBZ fan. And they're going for better color, like vibrant colors. They've got a vibrant color
That's what
palette.
HD generally means. And
DBZ Season 1 Blu-ray will be available online and in store retailers December 31st of this year. So, it's like
that's
very end of the year.
Yeah, that's New Year's. Well, it will be for us, because in Japan...
Yeah. Yeah, so that is a thing. And yes, they like to re-release a lot of things, but
Dragon Ball Z
Funimation's retrying
so
to release, because apparently, like I said, they tried and it didn't work out.
They didn't try hard enough.
This is kind of like a 50-50 because I feel like DBZ fans are either like excited for this or they're like pissed because they're like, you guys always do this. You're always re-releasing. Let's, figure out.
Stop just trying to grab the easy money and come out with something new.
Or people are like, yay, HD, woo.
They should come out with something new.
They should.
Like, do the next generation that they ended off with and just start something fresh. Like a new Dragon Ball kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't even know where they'd be.
I don't know. It's been so long.
The last I knew was Boo. And I know they've gone past that, so...
They go through the generations.
Oh my gosh, yeah. How many episodes?
Probably not as many as One Piece.
Or Bleach.
Yeah. Milking it.
So, moving on from that, NISA, which is NISA America, if you're
Nippon
not.
Ichi Software America.
There we go. I didn't even know what the NIS meant, stood for. Now we know. Now we know.
Now, the more you know.
Anyways, so yes, NISA, they have a new anime that's going to be coming out February 4th of 2014, and it's called Wagnaria. And it's actually, I think, translated into English, it'd be called Working. Don't quote me on that. That's just what I've taken because it's based upon the Working manga by Ruroni Takatsu. Sorry. And it first appeared in the January 2005 issue of Square Enix's Young Gangan magazine. So that's where it actually first appeared. It's called Working. So that's why I said I think it's called Working in English. But, so this is a slice of life comedy. It is rated teen. It is a 13 episode. It's going to be on 2 Blu-ray disc set. Obviously, NISA likes to do this thing where if you get the premium box, they give you like an art book with so many pages full of the beautiful artwork that goes into an anime.
Or a game, they do that with games too.
Oh yes, yeah. It's beautiful and you can see all the kinds of artwork that they do. And they also give you, sometimes they like to give you like this limited edition box set. Stuff like that. So there are quirks to pre-ordering and getting limited editions. But anyways, so yes, Wagnaria Volume 1 and 2 is going to be coming out, and there is a trailer. There's actually a trailer for Volume 1 and 2, actually be like Season 1 and 2, but pretty much what it's about is about this family restaurant, and there's a lot of eccentric characters going around. There's a girl who pretty much, she sees a man, she likes to punch him, and it's about this guy. He comes into this restaurant, and he's like, hey, you're adorable, and I like cute things, and cute and small things, and she's like, what? So anyways, he comes to work for them, and he meets all of those eccentric characters and gets to know them. So that's kind of like a little bit of what it's about. Actually, from the trailer, it looked to me like it would be something that I would probably enjoy a lot.
Yeah, I noticed you were laughing over there.
Yeah.
I was a little bit away from the computer, so I couldn't read the subtitles, but to me, just from glancing at a distance, it kind of looked like more of a girl anime. Like maybe a Fruits Basket, maybe?
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like a Fruits Basket or like a Squid Girl. Totally reminded me of that. That's what I would think of. And it's not like boobs everywhere. So yeah, it looked like one I would enjoy. But.
Yeah, it didn't look like one I would particularly go out to watch, but I could see the appeal, I suppose. Like, it doesn't look horrible, it just doesn't look for me. I like explosions and stuff.
Attack on Titan.
It's amazing. No, that one's not explosions. That's like giants eating people.
Yeah.
And like limbs.
Naked giants.
Limbs flying through the air and stuff.
Sword Art Online.
A little bit, but it's like people flying through the air. Anyway.
Soul Eater. Not really, but. Trigun. Is that a good one?
Yeah, because they actually have explosives, so. Gundam.
Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yeah, Gundam. Gundam's the one right there. They blew up space stations with thousands of people on them.
Zoids. Tenchu Muyo. I feel like Outlaw Star would probably have some.
Yeah, because they blow up ships.
It's been a while since. Anyway,
it's just short. You can go through it in a day.
It's on our list. So yes, that is the new one. It's coming out again February 4th, 2014. Definitely check it out. It's obviously, if it's NISA, it's most likely, more than likely, it will be actually in Japanese and subtitled in English. So, and like we've told you before, if it gets popular, then they like to dub things. So
well, you got to make the money so that because voice actors aren't cheap.
Nope.
At least if you want ones that are good.
Yep.
But you don't want ones that are bad.
No.
Because they're cheap.
Right.
Right.
I'm cheap. I'm a voice actor. Okay, I like to pretend I'm one. But anyways, moving on to some very interesting news going on. Speaking of Microsoft, actually, Microsoft Singapore came out with a mascot for Internet Explorer.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a trailer you can watch. It's quite interesting. I actually wish it was an actual anime. But anyways, it's an Internet Explorer anime commercial. And it's to celebrate Anime Festival Asia, which would be AFA, Anime Festival Asia. 2013, Microsoft Singapore, like I said, is created an anime-inspired video featuring a mascot named Ruroni Azwa. And the download page for the browser tagline is, "The world's most popular browser just got cuter." So, let's talk about this.
The trailer?
This trailer, this commercial, I guess.
Trailer. I was watching it, and at first I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's got some action stuff. And then I'm like, wait, this is getting really stupid. Nobody's talking, and they do this Sailor Moon clothes change thing. And I'm just like, this is getting stupider by the moment. And then she, pulls out, and she's like, I'm on my computer. So I'm like, wait, is this an anime about a girl who plays video games? Now I kind of understand why they weren't talking. And then they're like, Internet Explorer, and I was waiting for it to lag. So, that's my thought.
I think it looked really cool. I love Sailor Moon. It brings back childhood memories. Don't be hating. But if you watch the trailer commercial, whatever you want to call it.
Trailer to commercial.
If you notice, she has the Microsoft, actually not the Microsoft, the Windows color little flag thing on her skirt, the butt of the skirt. So just a little thing, I guess, to mention. But yeah, I found this and I was like, what is this? But it's not the first time it's been done. Actually, there was another one. It was actually a Taiwan one, where they had an anime-inspired mascot. So, it's not the first to be done.
I'd imagine we won't see a lot of it over here in America.
Probably not.
Probably a lot more in the Asian area, but that's the thing.
That is the thing, and maybe, I don't know if it's going to be an actual
If
thing.
it became actually a popular meme or something, I'm sure they would throw a short show and try and make her into.
I think it looks pretty cool, and she is pretty cute. For all anime girls pretty much are. Let's be honest.
Ooh, I'm sure I could think of some. No, let's not think about it. That'll take too long.
Nope, go ahead. And bonus round of the Utopia of Nerd News, where we try to figure out if there's an ugly anime girl.
Yeah, about all of them from the early 90s.
Nowadays.
A little girl off of Sword Art Online. Meh. I didn't like her.
Oh. I can't think of any.
What's the evil snake lady from Soul Eater?
Really? You think she's...
Yeah.
Really?
Her makeup stuff disturbs me.
Yeah, it's Medusa. Makes sense, she's Snake Lady. Really? You don't think she's that good looking?
Not really, no.
You don't like her hair beard?
No. In fact, the Toad Lady's not too
Erica?
great herself, yeah. Maybe it's just the art style. I don't know.
Really? I love Soul Eater art style. But anyways.
No, I don't hate the art style, but it doesn't necessarily... Because, like, Blair's amazing. And Liz and Patty are amazing.
And Maka's amazing.
Maka reminds me of a 12-year-old, and I think it's gross. In that way. Just saying. Yeah.
Alright, so if you know of any ugly anime girls that you want to talk about them in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you and know if you think any anime girls are ugly from modern day. Because, you know, back then they didn't have all the great stuff that they have now. So don't be hating on the old art styles, because that took time. It all takes time, but that took a lot of time of drawing. Anyways, yes, comment in the section below. Like,
no books?
No books.
No books.
Yeah. No books. There wasn't any book news really going on.
Okay, so
comment in the section below about ugly anime girls.
Yeah, ugly anime girls down below. Anyway.
Or if you think, yeah, I'm stopping you. Or the cute ones. And we're not going to go into that because you know too many. You get to name one.
Holo.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I
All
saw
right.
that one coming. Anyways, go on.
Anyway, that's our show. Thank you for watching. Over the course of the next week, you can expect a review for Thor: The Dark World, or the second Thor movie, or whatever you want to call it. But you can expect that.
You mean Thor in Darkness?
No, David Letterman, I don't. Anyway, thank you for watching our show. And we will see you guys hopefully next week. Or on
Thortown.
Yeah.
In Thortown.
Stop it, David Letterman. Nobody's going to get that, okay? Okay, go look up Natalie Portman interview.
In fact, we'll just tell you now, that's going to be the mystery video, is the David Letterman with Natalie Portman.
Yeah,
and him
just
trying to
click
talk
the
about
mystery box.
Him trying to talk about Thor.
He's
the
so
Dark
old
World.
and needs to be gone. But he just signed a contract extension. Anyway, see you guys. Bye.